Morning, they say, shows the day. I have woken up every morning to be greeted by a day not too different from the previous 24 hours, and hoping to be appreciated for who I am and not what I do. This city looks at everything from April to March. The financial year, after all, matters more than the humane calendar year. February isn't the right time to take a break, I was told. But I knew I had to head back home. After a long, tiresome journey traveling through the mist, clouds and pine, here I am, in my hometown, as some people calls it, the Scotland of the East. Though it's no longer my old scenic Shillong, but still, I love the old pines by the winding roads with all its old musks and sounds. When I see the old stones standing by the road, I feel as if my ancestors are welcoming my long-awaiting homecoming. I still remember my grandfather's words. This tree is a reminder that the stronger the roots you have, the firmer you stand on your feet. I miss grandfather, but Basumer, our family friend, had promised to fill in. My homecoming has a lot to do with his egging on. He wanted to make it in February for an annual pilgrimage grandfather was passionate about. Basumer reminds me of grandfather. Both don't talk much, but never tire of speaking about the values of our indigenous community. I have always been proud to be a Khasi, one of the very few communities on earth to follow the matrilineal tradition. But having been brought up in an alien land, I have never really felt what it means to be a Khasi. Khasi is a generic name given to the people of Khasi and Jaintia Hills, the eastern half of India's Meghalaya state, once ruled by local kings and CMs. I have now learned we are known by different names in different parts of our hills. The Khasis of the eastern part are known as Nars or Sintengs. The western part, Lingams, the northern part, Boys, and the southern part, Wars. But they all follow the same language, customs, and traditions, besides comprising numerous clans. Many Khasis follow Christianity that came to the hills in the 19th century. Some adhere to the indigenous faith underscored by nature worship. They are governed by the Seng Khasi, one of the first social, religious and cultural movements in northeast India during the British rule, established in November 1899 to preserve traditions and customs that distinguish the Khasis from other races on earth. I am told a group of young men got together and founded Seng Khasi to stem the perceived cultural degeneration. They wanted the Khasi way of life to prevail, and that included music, song, dance, games, and amusements. I was in Shillong last autumn to re-experience the Nongkrem dance, essentially a living record of the Khasi polity. It was conceived by the various Khasi administrative units towards bonding for security and a viable economic system. The dance came to symbolize the birth of a democratic governance and form of justice through divine intervention. The splash of color in the dancing arena, the merriment rising to the tempo of drum beats and pipes music, the thronging crowds and elders chanting during the rites and rituals. Nongkrem was the kind of a rebirth for me too. The main aspects of the matrilineal system prevalent in the society of the Khasis is reflected in the Nongkrem festival. The mother or elder sister of the king, called CM, is the Queen Mother, who arranges and prepares the paraphernalia of the rites and rituals. But it is the prerogative of the clan male elders to perform the various rites and ceremonies. Before long, I learned I wasn't alone in trying to rediscover my roots. Khasis from all over and belonging to all denominations have for decades been looking inwards to rediscover their cultural heritage. For someone who seemed to have lost her moorings, I was overwhelmed to meet my childhood friend Lily, and she was readily eager to accompany me to the festival. I was in good hands. Like my grandfather's friend, Basumer is also eager to help me reconnect. Music is an essential part of the festival, in which there are in all 27 rhythms within a variety of different beats of 10 drums played during the performance of the different rites and rituals. The visitors and the spectators from far and wide throng to watch the virgin damsels and youths in their attire of gold and silver jewelry dance to the various tunes and drum beats. A symbolic offering of thanksgiving to the divine creator and the spiritual guardians, seeking blessings for a plentiful harvest, peace, harmony, joy and health in the courtyard of the divinity house called Lingsad. The Lingsad or divinity house is a thatched roofing built without nails, being the epitome of Khasi belief, religion, customs, polity, culture and heritage of the Hnutrep people. It is here that the roots are entrenched, the source of inspiration to aspire in the charting of new visions beyond the horizon. Basumer insists my homecoming isn't as much to do with being acquainted with the Khasi way of life as it is to be a part of a pilgrimage that predates the social religious movement. A multi-faith pilgrimage called Lum Sufit Bneng or Heaven's Navel. The significance of Sopet Bneng lies in a belief that Khasis lived in two separate sets of huts, one in heaven and one on earth. Sofet Bneng was where a golden bridge extended into the sky, so that the Hnutrep, or residents of 7 huts, could travel to heaven. But sin severed this bridge, and the Khasis lost their passage to heaven. They also lost the sun, and it was left to a little rooster to crow thrice to convince the light-emitting orb to shine again on earth. The mythical rooster has since been revered as Yarblay. The colors of Meghalaya unfold as you snake up National Highway 44. A nip in the air signals you are near one of this northeastern Indian state's serenest spots. You're often too spellbound by Umiam on your right to notice a massive rooster-topped gateway to your left. For all its beauty, Umiam is but an artificial water body. A hydroelectric project started decades ago necessitated its creation by submerging depressions woven around mounds. Umiam is a happening place today. A number of resorts have sprung up around it, offering tourists and city dwellers seeking weekend peace a break. There's fishing too, and water sports for the adventure inclined. What escapes the tourism focus is the faith-driven adventure called Lum Sopedneng just across the highway. But you cannot miss the Seng Khasi arc lorded over by Yarblay. Once you ascend past the gateway, you realize the road to heaven isn't easy. Sopedneng Peak lies between two valleys, Sumer and Rangmen, and is loaded with folklores passed on from generations to generations. Ba Sumer says the Hinutra people from Meghalaya and elsewhere look forward to this day to seek blessings from the Almighty and strengthen their inner self and renew all aura. The 7-kilometer trek to the peak is tough. The ritual